Hi, welcome to this tutorial. I'm very happy to be here and I would like to thank you for buying this. So I hope you will enjoy the tutorial. There is lots of things to learn, lots of techniques, and I hope you will enjoy it. So let's jump into it. This is the pendant we're going to be making today. It's a simple yet elegant pendant. I really like these designs because it looks like the stone in the middle is floating and nothing holds it from behind, but this is just an illusion. So for this project we're going to use some material. Here I have 16 gauge wire. This is square wire, dead soft, copper. Also, we're going to use two different kinds of 20 gauge wire. Here I have dead soft and half hard. If you only have one or the other, it's no problem. You can adapt the technique just with half hard or just with dead soft. Here I have some 20 gauge half round wire that we're going to use just to secure the wires on the bale. So this one can be replaced pretty much with any kind of half round wire. And here we have two weaving wires, 26 and 28. If you have only 28, that's alright, and if you have only 26, that's alright. And if you have 30 even, it's okay too. It's important to know that you can adapt the techniques to whatever gauges of wire you have. It doesn't really matter. And also some 14 gauge half round wire. This one is brass because I will use it to make an embellishment to the pendant. This right here, the golden part of the pendant. For the frame we will use a 14 gauge square wire. This is dead soft, and I bent the wire by the half to have this angle. This is a 75-degree angle, and the stone will sit approximately here. So what we want to do now is to gently bend the wires to the shape we will want to do. So for me, this is more or less the shape I want, a bit closer to the stone. Try to keep it symmetrical as much as you can. I pretty much all the time just eyeball it. So this looks pretty good to me. Another tool that I like using to shape my base wire is this hammer which has a nice round shape here, and I can use it to bend my wires to be symmetrical. So I want to have the pointy end here going through the middle of the wood and finishing here in this where the wires cross. So if we have a straight line from here to here, then it's symmetrical. and this looks pretty good to me. So now that our wire is properly shaped, we can try to close it a little. So that is a bit tighter, closer to the stone. Yeah, like so. Now what we want to do is to bend these wires up to form the bail. So I bend this one up where the wires cross, and repeat the same process for the second one. It should look something like this. Try to keep it symmetrical. And now I have here a piece of 18 gauge half round wire. So this is dead soft as well. So what I like to do is to start wrapping, leaving some space. This is 3 inches, by the way, which makes 8 centimeters. But I'm just going to wrap it a few times. 1, 2, yeah, 3 full wraps, and then the one we left here, we will wrap it around only one of the wires. Two times is enough. Okay, so now with our cutters we cut the excess, and now we can open the 2 wires here, separate them, and do the same with the other side of the half round wire. There we go. Now with our flat nose pliers, we can apply some pressure here for the wires not to move. So for this next step, I have 2 pieces of 3 inches 20 gauge square wire. This is half hard. I prefer to use half hard because it's sturdier, and we will use it to create the frame for the stone to sit. You know, this will be like a base for the stone to sit on. So we need to find the exact position where we want the wires to be, and just start securing them to the frame. So for that I will use my flat nose pliers here and create a loop around the frame wire. One, and 2 wraps is enough. I don't secure the wire too hard yet because I might want to move it, and there's a truck coming into the land to annoy me. And here I do the second side. So now this is why I tell you not to go too hard on the wire, because we want to be able to adjust, you know, where to put it, so that we leave the wire exactly where we want. So I'm going to leave this like this for now and go for the other side. So now always, as much as you can, try to keep your square wires, well, square. You don't want to be like, you know, twisting. So one of the flat sides of the wire faces always the frame, and the other one faces always, well, the outside. Now you can also do it with your fingers. This is up to you. I usually do it with my fingers when it's that soft, but this one is a bit hard, so I do it with the pliers. So before securing everything, I just want to make sure the space in between the wires is okay for the stone to sit on them. So this is pretty good, so I can continue. Just checking. Okay, so here we go. When everything is ready and secured into place, you can use your pliers here to apply some pressure so that the wires stay into place and do not move. Everything has to be tight, and this will make your frame a lot stronger. So if you wonder about the dead soft wire for the frame, well, these little wires here will make everything much more sturdy. So now we take our cutters and we cut the excess as close to the frame as possible. You can see. So we do that with all of the wires. Apply some more pressure. Okay, so there we go. Our frame is ready. Just a little tip before we continue. If you're using a translucent stone like this one, make sure the wires you're using to sit the stone on are close to the border. Why? Because if you do it, then you won't be able to see the wires behind. Okay? If the wire is too much like under the stone, you know, close to the middle, then you can see the wire. But if you take it like this, you cannot see the wires. So it will give an impression that the stone is floating, which is pretty cool. Okay, so for the next step, we will start adding components to the frame. So for that, here I have 3 pieces of 20 gauge square wire. This one is dead soft, but you can use whatever you have. If you have half hard, then use the half hard. If you only have dead soft for this part we made here, do it with dead soft, no problem. So what we want to do here is to find the middle. So we balance the wires again and we find the middle. We take one of the wires and then bend it. We want to make the same angle more or less as we made before. So this looks pretty good, and we repeat the same with the other wires. What I like to do is that here I make them fit, you know, and then I just go and bend it following the first wire like this, and the same with the third wire here, and again we just have to push it, push it against the other wires. So the first one here has a sharper angle, and the one in the end outside is a bit more round, but that's okay. So here I have a piece of 26 gauge round wire, weaving wire, and we will find the middle. So I took about a meter of wire. If you're going to work with silver wire or gold wire, I recommend you to do it from the spool. But well, in this case I just cut it, yeah, about a meter and 20 centimeters. Yeah, just to be sure. I hate when I don't have enough wire. So from the middle I start coiling this wire here, so 3 times from each side of the angle. So I have 3 here and 3 more here. 1, 2, 3, like so. And now what I'm going to do is that I will add the other wires. And start coiling the weaving wire as tight as I can. Like this. In the beginning is always important to flatten everything, just to make sure everything is tight and sits properly into place. So here I'll start doing it, calling this. It doesn't matter too much how many times, because we will do it all the way to the bail, or almost. So we just want to do it enough so that, you know, it doesn't move, like so. Yeah, and we'll repeat with the other side. So this is how it looks so far. So we continue the same process all the way up to here, close to the bail. So here we are. I finished coiling the wire, and I didn't take enough so take more than me. What you can do to have a similar length here is to use a ruler, or what I do is that I use this jeweler's compass, which helps me check the lengths for symmetry. So for example, here I have this length, and to have the same one on the other side, I just measure. So this is what we got, and it will be enough for what we want to do. So I'm just going to take one wire out here and coil this wire around so that it stays nice and secured, and the same for the other side. So we cut off the excess, and that's it. There we go. So now we can open the other wires out like this, and start shaping. We can flatten the coil with our nylon jaw pliers. So I like to use these ones, and if you do have them, use the parallel nylon jaw pliers. These are the best to do this. But if you don't have them, just use the regular ones. And if you don't have the regular ones, then just use the regular ones. Yeah, so again, I will use my wooden tool to help me make that nice curve just by, oh wait, I'm going to like this. So I'm gently going to push the wire like so to get that nice curve, like this, gently, always very gently. Always check on it. You have to look what you're doing, and once you have it good, then you can take it and try to see if it fits on the frame. So again, we'll close it a little like this. And see if it goes nice into place. So this looks good to me. So I'm going to secure the wires to the frame here from the outside, but you can also do it to the inside if you want. It depends on your wrap, how you want your flow to go. So yeah, check on that. Also checking if the stone has enough space. Yep, it does. Perfect. Very good. So now I'll just cut a bit of the wire here, because if I have too much, then it's a bit annoying. So here I take my pliers and I go like this. And do the same for the other side. Okay. So now I just try to make sure that our coil here doesn't like change where it's placed, and continue coiling this here. And the same for the other side. Okay. Oh, there we go. So again, don't do it too tight, because you want to be able to adjust. And when it's placed exactly where you want, then you can apply some more pressure so that nothing moves. Same for the other side. See how this wire here is not like tight enough? There's like a little gap here. So we will try to make that disappear and make it tighter, like this, and then secure everything into place. Now we cut the excess here and on the other side too. And there we go. Yeah. So now the wires are totally secured and they cannot go out of place. That's why we can now secure the other two wires in a much simpler way. So we just want to make them follow the other, like the frame wire, and once they get here where they are, so they came from here and just came out this way, and we can actually cut these because we don't actually need them to be super secured, and they won't move from here. All right, so same for the other side. There we go. Our component is secured to the frame, and later on we will secure this part of the pendant of the component, because this can still move away from the frame. Nice. Okay, so now that our first component is into place, we will start with the bail. So for this, this is the technique I usually do for my bails, so I hope you enjoy it. Here I'm going to I'm gonna bend the wires like so. So what I do here is that I take the the length of the flat nose pliers to bend the wires up like this on each of the two sides. Alright, and then I will take some, let's say 20 gauge wire, and take about 3.5 inches, about 9 centimeters. So we want to take 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now we want to take some weaving wire. I will take 28 gauge for this one. So I'll take again 1.5 meters this time, because we have to learn from our mistakes, right? Well, what we want to do here is to hold our 4 wires into place, and we'll leave a small amount of space, because this wire here we will use it to secure it to our bail. So this is about 2 centimeters, a bit less than an inch, like 3/4 of an inch. So we start by wrapping it 3 times about around the first wire, and then this is the weave I always use for my bales. So we secure it first to one of the wires, and then we go up on top of 2 of the wires, like so. Then we go to the other side and we wrap the coiling wire, the weaving wire, around once around the top wire, okay, this one. Then we come back again on top of 2, like this, and on this side. So we always go around the one in the border, right? Either this one or this one. And then on top of 2, cross, and again this pattern. Try to always keep it tight and keep your square wires square. Okay, I don't know the name of this weave. I don't go too much by names with the weaves, because usually I just find them by myself, even if they already, exist and someone else already uses them and they have names and everything, but I don't know them. So this component here will be our bale, and also we will try to secure our stone with this. You will see. Okay, so this is how it should look. Yep. So our first piece of wire here, we can just move it like this from side to side, and it will snap perfectly where it has to. And then we have to like more or less how do we say, figure out how much of this weave we want. So we want to make our bale with it, so it has to go a bit up and then a bit down. So I'll make a bit more of this and come back to you. Okay, so here I have made what I think is enough for my bale. So we have about almost 2 centimeters, and it's about 3/4 of an inch. So what we want to do next is I'll flatten this so that everything is nice and flat. What we want to do here is to separate a little bit the wires, the base wires, from this component, just a bit, and then we will do another weave. So this one is 4 around the outer wire and then 2 around the inner wire, this being inside and this being outside. So we already have one one wrap here, so 3 to go. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 around both. 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 around both, and so on. Remember to push the wires for them to be tight, okay? Always tight. Make the weave as long as you need to come until this part of the pendant, you know, where this frame wire is. So now I made one side here, and this arrives more or less where I wanted to. So what I'm going to do is that I will count here how many of these patterns I have on this side to recreate the same on the other side. So here I will count the wires that go on both wires. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 4 of the small wraps. So I'm just gonna cut this here, leaving some, you know, just in case, and do the same for the other side. Okay, so here we have our component, and we are ready to secure it to our frame, our bale. So what we want to do here is to place the component this way from behind. All right, so for that we want to open here our wires, and using our pliers take one of the wires and wrap it around the base wire. This way. And then do the same with the second one. Like this. So this is not too tight yet. We will tighten it a little after, before we want to put everything into place. Alright, so we will pull on the ones that need to be tighter. So right now our component here for the bale is a bit too much to the right, so we want it to be a bit more to the left. For that we pull on the wires that are on the left side. This way. And once everything is into place, we just need to finish wrapping these wires here behind. Cut the excess, so not too close to the frame wire, but a few millimeters from it, so that we have enough space to bend it inside like this. And the wire ends are here. Same for the other side. Perfect. So this is how we want it to be. Now we can flatten everything with the nylon jaw pliers, and there we go. So for the next step, we have a few options. We can use either some bail forming pliers, or just whatever you have, you know. If you have a pen or something like this, you can use it to make your bail. But for now, we're going to use the bail pliers because, well, I have them. So we hold all the wires with the pliers and we bend everything all the way where we want it to be. So here we have to choose, we have to be careful not to bend it like too short. So we really want to like watch what we're doing and bend the wires very gently to not to misform it, you know. So here I'm just going to open a bit the big wires so that they are not bothering us, they are not in the way. And then we're going to open here our weaves just a little to see you know, the space here below. So now that everything is more or less into place, we can put our cabochon. So we can either put it this way or we can put it this way. So sometimes I start with an idea, you know, and the idea changes as we make the pendant. I'm sure it happens to you as well. Happens to all of us. So I have the feeling that this is going to be easier to secure. So, and I like how this looks actually. So we're going to go for this. The idea is to secure it into place and try to see where we want the wires to go. So for example here, I think my bail is a bit too big, so I'm going to bend a little more this down. And also I'm going to open it a bit more because I want to hide these wires here. Okay, so in the end we're putting the stone like this, and I shaped my weaves here to hold the stone into place like this, so it holds all 4 angles of the stone. So of course, well, everything is moving right now, but it's placed where we want to. So now I'm going to take my wire ends and just cut them like this. I love this technique so much. And the same for the other side. And now we can put our stone into place. And pre-shape here I'm gonna take this off. Pre-shape our wires so that they can bend down, so they can go here, and we're going to secure them to this wire here. Like this. So now we take one of the wires. I'll take the one closer to the stone and wrap it around the base, the smaller base wire, like this, and then take the second wire and do the same, so that they are secured like next to each other, like this. So this is not tight yet. We do the same on the other side. So like this, and the other one too. Oh yeah, these wires are a bit short. But it's okay. It's all good. So that's why I prefer taking, more than I need than not enough, to avoid not having enough. The stone came out. There. Okay. So now it's a good moment to check our symmetry. Of course, the stone we can still move it around and check where our weaves are going to to make it look nice and centered. So for that we're going to secure properly one side. Yeah, one side. We cut off the excess, leaving 1 millimeter so that we can finish bending the wires to the inside, like this. And now we do the symmetry on the other side. So I want to push these wires a bit up, so I'll do it like this, so that the stone can go underneath. And then apply some pressure here, so the wires have to go a bit on top of the stone for it not to pop out. And now we go for the other side. Here I make it tighter. Oh, I will make it tighter, and the wire broke. Okay, no problem. So it's not easy to have perfect symmetry in the wraps, but we can try to get as close as we can. So this one, we tuck it in there, and the other one, as it's not long enough, we're just going to cut it there so that it doesn't bother the skin. Can you see? This one was too short here. So here we are. The stone still moves, but it doesn't fall out of place. So we can like push our weaves to be exactly where we want. I'm still thinking that, you know, maybe if I put the stone like this here, it would look pretty cool this way. But I still have to check how to make it look centered. And it's difficult because this stone is not exactly square. So no, we're going to leave it like this. As you can see, we can see the wire here at the base, and well, we don't want that. So what we can do is to take our flat nose pliers and just bend it a bit up like this on both sides, yeah? So that, well, it secures better the stone from behind, and also it disappears from the front. So now we really need to try to apply pressure in the good spots for the stone to be centered and totally secured. So with my tools here, I can push the weaves into place so that the stone doesn't move anymore. We can use the nylon tip pliers and yeah, move the wrap around. We can see the wire behind the stone. We don't want to be able to see that. So again, with our pliers, we can move and shape that piece of wire to be a bit closer to the borders so that we don't see it that much. Nice. Now, what do we want to make with the big wires that we have here? I love how clean this looks on the bale. I really enjoy that. So I think I'm improvising as I do this tutorial, so let me think. I think I'll just, take it out right here. So this I want to do it with my fingers because I want to have total control of what I am doing. And use the pliers only in the end when I need to apply some strong pressure. So this looks pretty nice, like this. I'll try to mirror that on the other side. This looks okay. Pretty good. So, where are we going to secure these big wires? One option could be here, or just directly to the frame again. So the good thing is that the wire is coming here in front and then going back. So we don't need to do, a lot of wraps for it to be secure, because as long as it goes this way and then go around a frame, then the only way for it to go out of place would be, well, like this, but it cannot go like this, and it cannot go like this because it's locked into place. I don't know if that makes sense when I say it like this, but I'm going to show you. So I'll try to leave here or enough space. Okay, here, and then I'll shape the wire. I'll start giving it the curve I want. To secure it to that frame wire. and if I can go around it, it would be perfect. Be careful not to break the weaving wire, because if you break it, then we have problems. But this way, the wire, you know, it cannot go out. So here we have one side ready here, and it's secured to the frame here. And now we'll go for the other side. Try to be as precise as you can for not leaving marks on your wire, because the less marks on the wire, the less polishing, and also, well, the best it will look, right? So here I have like a few marks, but it's difficult to see. So we have a nice bail, lots of space for any kind of chain, a nice sleek border here, and well, the stone doesn't move. So this is pretty good. Now we just want to add some embellishment. Alright, so for our next step, here I have some 14 gauge half round dead soft brass, and what I want to make here is that I will create a spiral that comes from here and then goes around and secure a bit more the stone, and yeah, something like that. So what I want to do here is to take my nylon jaw pliers, and I will use them to keep my half round like flat and create my curve, so that well, the half round side stays up and the flat side stays below. So yeah, do it slowly, gently, and the way I like to do this is to place the wire like so here, and little by little adjust the spiral, the swirl, to the size I want. And maybe a little more. And then bend the end of the wire to the back, like this. Why? Because it's easier to put it into place, just like that. Maybe a little more. Yeah, like this. Okay, so what we want to do here is to take our half round wire here behind, and just with our plier bend it up again so that, you know, it stays into place. So yeah, before securing this, I will go with the rest of the half round here. So what I want to do is to bend this wire here and carefully pushing it all the way here. And I don't want to make any bad like wraps, like bends on the wire, because it will look ugly. So just try to place it in the best places as possible, and be careful how you pull on it. So okay, like this. This is where I want it. And now, very carefully, I want to shape it around the stone and go back behind it. Like this. And I'll just bend my half round here to be able to secure it to the frame right here. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'll cut the excess and mirror that on the other side. So here we are. I tried to mirror as best as I could on this side, and I think it looks pretty good like this. So now what I want to do is to secure my half round wires into place. So I'll leave about 1.5 centimeters, which makes, wow, 1.5 centimeters exactly, which makes a bit less than 3/4 of an inch. And just secure that wire to the base. So There we go. Nice. We want it to be nice and tight. Okay. The stone is still moving a bit. We will secure that. And now the other side. Always remember to check on the front, because as you pull on the wires, it can get like out of place because we pull too much on the wires, but this is okay. And there we have our wires here. Now pretty much the same on the other side. There. Oops. Like so. And there we go. So here is nice to push these wires a bit closer to the stone, so that, you know, they don't get out of place. The stone here still moves a bit, so what we want to do here is to really find the perfect spot, and then with our nylon jaw pliers apply some pressure so that all the wires are against the stone, on the stone, touching the stone. Here we will bend these wires again as before, and when doing this it makes the all the wrap like tighter this way, so it puts some more pressure on the stone and it makes it stay more into place, simply like that. We can also apply some pressure here, so that this wire pushes the stone a bit more that way. And if this pushes the stone to the front, and in the front, well, everything is securing the stone, then the stone, well, cannot move anymore. And, well, this is our finished piece. A simple wrap, but yet elegant. And as you can see, we cannot see the wires behind the stone. So it appears to be floating. That's pretty cool. A few more adjustments. We can get the big wires here from the bail closer to the weave. So we gently push. Be careful not to do it too strong because you can mess it up. And this is it. Beautiful wrap. Now let's polish it. So here comes the polishing part. So since this wrap came very clean and it doesn't have much plier marks on the wire, I don't need to go through too much polishing. But anyways, if I have all these different polishing discs that I use. So this one, the brown one, is the strongest. I don't know the word exactly, but you know, it goes deep on the wire and it helps it get rid of big marks. Then you follow with this one, which is a thinner grid that helps erase the marks that this one made. And then we go through this one, which is pretty thin, so it erases everything and leaves everything like pretty nice and without marks. And the last one is to make it shiny, basically. So these are the 4 that I use, and I will use just the big ones to go behind, just to make it softer to wear on the skin, because I think this is something very important. And I do it with a Dremel. So let's go for it. Now we go for the second one. The third one. This one I will go on top. And now we can go for the last one. And there we go. Shiny, and we haven't made any wire marks on the pendant. The back is soft, that's very important. and we didn't add too many wires, so this is quite soft. I really like this design. Also, we didn't secure this here because the wires, the weave that we made here on the side, just beside the stone, is holding this simple coil on the sides, because here it goes a bit on top, here and here, and it pushes to the outside, so this is not going out of place by any means. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is my first paid video tutorial, so can't wait to see the new designs you come up after this. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Bye bye.